Within the creation of my free media products, I have used many different media technologies such as the computer, camera, and various pieces of software. To create the horror trailer, there are many pieces of media technologies needed. When planning our trailer, the first thing we did was use the internet to research many different types of theorems such as feminist, postmodernism, and structuralism, which we then wrote essays on to expand our knowledge about the film production process. Then we used a website called YouTube to research existing horror trailers, which we then used Microsoft PowerPoint to make analysis timelines of these 4 existing horror trailers and an editing analysis of a horror trailer, so that our understanding of the sound cuts and suspense was known. To further our understanding of what appeals to a horror audience and what makes a horror film, we used the website SurveyMonkey to create a questionnaire that we then handed out to people of all different ages and genders to complete. We also used social media such as Facebook and Twitter to post the link to this survey so that we were able to get a wider audience feedback from people all over the world. The website then calculates the responses of the feedback and places them into graphs and statistics that therefore made it easier for us to see the audience response. After this, we then used Microsoft Word again to write our pitches and treatments and also create a shot schedule so that we knew when and where we needed to film each scene of our trailer. The internet was then used again so that we were able to research props and costumes for our actors to wear in the trailer. The rough images that we chose for our actors to wear were then saved and pasted on Blogger, and then we explained why we had chose this clothing. After this, we were then able to move on to creating our trailer. When creating our horror trailer, we had to also use many different media technologies such as cameras, computer software, and the internet. Firstly, we had to use a professional camera, a Canon 1100D, and a tripod to shoot our film. We used a professional camera as we needed the footage to be clear, enhanced, and the sound to be clear from the trailer to look professional and real. We used a tripod along with the camera for majority of our shots so that the camera was stable when filming and the footage was steady. After we had filmed our footage, we needed to decide on tone cards to use and create. We then used the internet to research existing tone cards, age rating cards, title cards, production logos, and credits cards. After researching them and expanding our knowledge on what tone cards need to look like and contain, we used Adobe After Effects CS4 to create our title card, tone cards, and coming soon card. This was created on After Effects as we needed movement within our tone cards to make them seem more professional rather than stable text. After creating and exporting them, we decided to use Adobe Photoshop CS 5.1 to create an age rating card, production logo, and credits card. This was made on Photoshop as we decided where they are stable text and images on majority of trailers, we would use images and maybe add effects during editing if it makes it seem more professional. We then moved on to editing our horror trailer using computer software only available on Mac computers called Final Cut Pro 10. We used this software to edit our footage into trailer with transitions and additional sounds. We decided to use this software as it is professional software which is actually used on real film products, allowing our trailer to look as professional and as real as possible. After editing our trailer together with the tone cards and footage filmed, we needed to create or obtain additional sound to add to the suspense of the footage to create a fear factor within our trailer. To obtain these additional sounds, we used YouTube and copy and pasted the link into a YouTube converter. We chose sounds which we thought incited fear into the audience, such as low tone, dragging out suspense music throughout the equilibrium section and a quicker, more upbeat sound throughout the chase scenes. This made the horror trailer seem scarier as the sounds build up the tension within the trailer. We then exported the trailer from Final Cut Pro 10 so that we could upload it to YouTube so that we could then embed the link into Blogger. When planning my movie poster, I use media technologies in that I use the internet, Microsoft PowerPoint, and Blogger. Before creating our posters, we had to research previous movie posters on the internet to see the codes and conventions of how they are similar and different. We then chose 3 different horror movie posters from Google Images, which we then placed into Microsoft PowerPoint to annotate and analyse so that we could expand our knowledge. After annotating the posters, we then placed the presentation onto our blogs on the website Blogger. To then create our poster, we had to take images to place onto them. I used a Canon 600D to shoot the necklace on my poster so that it was in focus and professional looking. After obtaining the image I wanted and needed, I then placed the image into Adobe Photoshop CS 5.1 so I could manipulate the image and continue to create my poster. To know how to create my poster to the best standard, I used many effects and tricks on Photoshop which I learned how to do using YouTube. I also used the website dafont.com, which allowed me to obtain many different fonts to create my poster to a professional standard with various fonts. When planning my magazine, I repeated the same process for when I was planning my movie poster, with the change of instead of using posters, I chose magazine front covers to annotate. I repeated the process of using PowerPoint to annotate the magazines and then posted the final presentation on Blogger. When creating my magazine, I also used the same process as the movie poster except for the change of instead of using a Canon 600D camera, I used a Canon 1100D instead. I again used Adobe Photoshop to create my magazine with the addition of fonts from dafont.com and also using YouTube for help with effects and tricks. After creating all of the media products, I uploaded drafts and final versions to Blogger so that everyone can see them.